Hi, my name is Ryan from Collectiv, and today we're going to be talking about Azure, more specifically the Microsoft Data Stack. If you're moving, transforming, storing, or rendering data, we think that the Azure Data Stack has a lot of really neat tools that can help you get the job done easily and quickly. So, a data stack is essentially a collection of multiple different tools and technologies. Some of these tools and technologies have different purposes. Some of them have a little bit of overlap, some of them are very similar, some of them are very different. It can kind of make for a very confusing landscape. So it's useful to have a general picture around what some of the different areas are that these tools can help with. The first of these areas that Azure tools can help with is getting all of your data from all of your different sources into one place. You may be wondering why you want all of your data in one place to begin with. There are many good reasons for this. The first of which is then you don't have people who are going and trying to build reports constantly hitting the systems that maybe your customers or other parts of the organization use operationally, slowing it down and causing breaks or stoppages. Another key reason is when you're trying to build reporting, you likely want the different parts of your organization and the data that comes from them to be able to be bounced up against one another so that that data can talk to one another. So having it in one place facilitates that. One of the last key reasons why you want all of your data in one place to begin with is because then you can allocate resources to it properly. Many of these operational data sources are finely tuned to backup applications. When you put all of your data into one place, you can put it on a tool that's specifically designed for housing large quantities of data and then rendering it out very, very quickly. Another question that you might be asking is why use the Microsoft Data Stack versus some of the other tools that are available on the market? One of the primary reasons to use Azure is it strikes the perfect balance between technological completeness and accessibility. There are a lot of tools out there that are much, much more user-friendly, but you end up paying a lot of money, and if you want to make changes or do things your way, sometimes your hands are tied. On the other hand, there are a lot of tools that are even more technologically complete, but unless you have an entire team of developers, it can be very difficult, time-consuming, and costly to get initiatives off the ground. With the Azure landscape being so large, it's useful to call out a couple of key use cases that highlight some of the most advantageous parts of the Microsoft Data Stack. One of the first use cases that we think is critical is the data lake data warehouse combination, sometimes called a data lakehouse. The idea behind this is we have data all throughout our organization using all sorts of different systems. Typically, we want data from all of those systems, like we mentioned before, to come into one centralized location. That's the data lake. It's like taking a bunch of cups of data and dumping them all out into one place. So we have a lake of our data now. All of that data is still pretty raw. It was in whatever format those operational data sources had it in. So it's not really ready to talk to the data from different sources that might be in a different format or might even have different IDs. So the next thing that we want to do is we want to structure all of that data so that it can talk to one another so that someone can go in and just frankly ask questions of this data structure without having to understand a lot about technology. It's pre-baked for reporting and allows people easy access to answer questions. That is a data warehouse. One of the common problems that we see a lot of our customers struggle with is technical debt. So many times this technical debt can be business logic stored in an Excel file or stored in some sort of manual process. Sometimes even processes that are based on sending emails with CSVs to one another. In many cases, this can be very, very difficult and time-consuming to manage. One of the best solutions to this is figuring out what is the business logic that's in this Excel file or that's in this manual process. And then we can take that and we can teach that to the computer. So we have tools like Azure Data Factory that allow us to undertake these transformations in an automated and automatic fashion online so that we can free up our humans to think. While we here at Collectiv are known as being the Power BI experts, almost all of our consultants have expertise in things like SQL, Synapse, Azure Data Factory, SSIS, and Python. We are a full-stop shop, and if you have a problem with data and you're using the Microsoft Data Stack or even just a part of it, we definitely can help. If you're trying to put together a strategy or an architecture using Azure or different parts of Azure, and you don't know how to use it or which parts go together or in which order, that's something that we can help with. Our visioning engagement will help you put together exactly what you need to come up with a game plan for execution. If you already know what you need to get done within Azure and you just don't have the resources or the time, Collectiv has the experts that understand Azure and how to use all of the tools to make your vision come to reality. Thanks for watching. Visit gocollectiv.com to learn more.